My bad, y'all. Let's try it again. Hey, y'all, what's going on? I know y'all like, hey, what the hell? Ain't it Sunday? I thought y'all be talking that sports on Wednesday. Yeah, usually we do, but it's some stuff going on, y'all. So we decided we got to talk to y'all right now about what's going on. And as y'all see, we in the basketball court because the basketball world done went crazy, straight crazy. What am I talking about? Well, of course, I'm gonna have that discussion, but can't have it without that dude we call the sports guru. That's that dude, Hughley. What up, you?
What's going on, E?
Man, I don't know. You tell me. It's nuts out here right now. Cause I woke up to a message from my phone that you sent, and it all got nuts from there. Tell them about it, Hugh.
Definitely was liking what was going on, man. I was on my way to sleep, man. It wasn't really nothing going on. I was just hanging out trying to figure out what's going to happen and what we're going to really build up to talk about on the Wednesday show. And me, definitely on Tuesday, that's like a few days from now. So I said, well, okay, what's out here right now to really talk about? Wasn't really much. But then when I looked up and I seen rumors and I said, man, well, it's a lot in the WNBA. I was just going to talk about it, maybe sprinkle in some college stuff. But the NBA kind of sizzled down for a minute. And that's when that huge blockbuster trade happened, man. And what was cool about it was you seen the players like Kevin Durant and the people on Phoenix, and you seen New York players react and other teams react to the news. Luka Doncic being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers and AD going over there to the Dallas Mavericks and a three-team trade. And it was crazy. It was really exciting to watch because they don't usually hit like this. Sometimes we'll get some good trades. And I know they was trying to pull off getting LeBron James with Golden State last season, but this one actually happened, man. And it was cool to see, and it's good for the NBA because the NBA, the numbers been down, and a lot of things hasn't really been electrifying like it should be. Poor advertisement, and I feel like the All Star breaks has been really tired, but this is lift them up right now, and I think this is going to be a domino effect and some more explosive, some really good trades.
Man, here's the thing. We have been saying for weeks now on the show that NBA just ain't hitting like it need to this year.
And it's not.
Well, I think the NBA kind of been thinking that too, particularly certain teams. And apparently last night it was like, let's do it. So a lot of people waking up this morning to the news that, yeah, like you said, Luka Doncic. Yeah, that Luka Doncic. Dallas Mavericks. Second in MVP voting last year. All that good stuff. Dallas woke up and said, it's time for you to go. And they trade him to, of all places, the Lakers, the Los Angeles Lakers. And not only do they trade him to the Lakers, but they trade him for Anthony Davis. The man seemed to be the franchise, considering the fact that LeBron is 40, and for all intents and purposes, we know he on his way out the door. So it was like, what brought all this on? So of course, once I found out about the trade, my mouth was like, then I had to be like, okay, let me dig into this a little bit because people gonna want to know why this happened, how this happened, what the hell going on. So okay, done my research. Here's what I found out. First of all, neither one of these two people that got traded knew they got traded until it happened.
Nobody even knew on their teams neither. It was like the world biggest secret. I think Dallas came to LA with that and presented them with it. And LA just hurried up and pulled the trigger before even anybody even knew or was aware of it. I don't even think LeBron knew.
Here's the thing. According to a couple of the talking heads, this been in the works since like late Thursday. So this is still relatively new thing. And according to what happened was it was Dallas that called LA like, look, we trying to do something. Y'all interested? What y'all trying to do? We want to trade Luca. Huh? Did I hear you correctly?
Hmm.
Yeah, I said we want to trade Luca. Y'all want to trade AD? Let us know. They had a meeting over there, and the Laker brass, all the big wigs and whatnot, Palika and the owner Jenny Buss and whatnot, and they mauled it over for a day or so. They called back Friday, like, look, I'm with it, but the salaries don't work. How we gonna work that out? Y'all trying to get somebody else though? We ain't with it. We only trying to trade AD. So they got back and forth with that. That's where we get the third team involved, Utah Jazz. Now understand, if you're a Utah Jazz fan, you shouldn't feel no type of way anywhere it go. Y'all was just a utilization in this process, okay? I don't know what Utah is doing, to be quite honest. It's like they done been involved in a couple of these trades these last few months, and they not really getting nothing. The only thing is, remember, Utah got all these extra picks that didn't accumulated over the years. So now, because they really can't get what they want from them, they just kind of utilizing them picks to get other picks. And yeah, if you're a Utah Jazz fan, I don't know what to tell you. Y'all just involved, okay? What you get out this deal don't make no difference one way or another. It's about the two teams that's beyond that, which is Dallas and the Lakers. Okay, so here's the thing, Hugh. In this day and age of NBA, this is not how that usually go. Usually, if you about to be traded, they tell you, or more than likely, if you wants to be traded, you tell them.
Yeah.
This was not the case in this case. Neither one of these players showed any desire to be traded from the team. But then all of a sudden they get that call like, you've been traded.
I wasn't really surprised. I know a lot of times when I heard rumors last season that AD was possibly a candidate for being traded. He had the injuries until he didn't last season. And you had Luca with the weight issues, man. He came in at about 300 pounds last year. And, other years, they said that he wasn't training like he's supposed to. He's smoking and drinking beers like before they went to the finals and when they were celebrating after the game they played when they stunned the team to go to the finals. They had Luca in the hallway and he was drinking beer, and then one of the coaches had to get the beer away from him, and it was already an issue with his weight and how it fluctuated, how they said that he don't really take care of himself and condition like he's supposed to in the off season. And that's when I looked at it and I said, this is a player, AD, who's starting to get up there in age, and he has a lot of injuries stacked up on him. And then you have a player who's not really all that disgruntled, but he just don't really like to, get in NBA shape. You put those two and two together, man, it was a bad situation for both teams. And now them to trade, man, it's going to work out. One team's going to have it work out, another team might not. But I want to see how it works. Maybe the difference, sometimes you just need that change of scenery to, get everything going. And maybe that's just what they needed. AD to Dallas is going to be really good if he can stay healthy. And I still feel like Luka to LA, man, and bright lights that'll really help them as well. So hopefully they can keep up with themselves, like the AD with his health and Luca with his weight. And I just want to see how this materializes because it's going to be a domino effect within the next 24 hours. So it's going to be a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to the NBA. And a lot of the things have been real electric too in the WNBA.
Well, we got to dig even deeper into just this deal, and then we can branch out from there. Keep in mind, Luca didn't ask to be traded. AD didn't ask to be traded, but it's been talk about at least the AD for a few years now. Here's the thing, though. Remember, this actually goes back a few years. Remember, once upon a time, they had a Luca and they had a Porzingis. You remember that grouping? For whatever reason, them two did not gel. They did not get along. And because Luca was still very young at that point, and Porzingis was still coming back for injury, they decided to cut their losses and just get rid of Porzingis. And that trade was kind of out the blue, if you remember, Hugh. And
Yeah,
and
it
at
was
that
like
point, remember, they just pretty much gave Porzingis away to the Washington Wizards.
Bazinga wanted to be the man, and Luca, that was his team, and I don't think that it materialized in how Bazingas wanted it to. And at the time, too, you thinking that they was going to do right by Bazingas, but then that it was a lot of issues, and he was the problem. At first, I thought it was like a conflict between both of the guys, but it was more or less Bazingas was the problem because he was saying he wasn't getting the ball like he wanted to, and then that when it comes to Luca, he controls the ball a lot, and that's something I'm gonna keep my eye out on too. Because remember when Russell Westbrook went to LA, he was kind of the dominant ball person. When that's not still, regardless, going to be his team. I believe that LeBron probably be a little bit more lenient to Luca now because he's starting to get up there in age, like he was passing the torch to AD. So it might be a little different now versus what it was back then, when that LeBron James was the dominant force. And that's what I believe that issue was. And they shipped Porzingis off to Washington. So that didn't work out until it did when he went to Boston.
Right. Now, see, problem B. Okay, that happened. Then all of a sudden, they got a deal. And guess what? Now, suddenly, we got Luca and Kyrie. Now, remember, at first, that wasn't really working too well
No, it was a
until
mess.
they kind of worked it out. But see, part of what worked it out was the fact that suddenly Kyrie kind of hit a different level of maturity with himself. And he basically decided to do what LeBron did. Well, basically what Dwayne Wade did years ago. Like, look, LeBron, I understand you the man. Okay. I'm the man, but you the man. So I gotta let you be the man and I'm gonna follow your lead. That's pretty much what Kyrie did with Luca last year. Like, okay, look, I understand I'm the man, but you the man. I'm gonna let you be the man, and I'm gonna play the Robin. Okay, you do the Batman, I'll be the Robin. We'll do this, and it worked until it didn't. Okay, now a key factor I think in the thinking of Dallas is that okay, we done went through a good part of our season. Luca been out, y'all. Luca been out for 22 games.
It makes sense.
And while Luca been out, guess what? Dallas been winning.
And
And
then
they've
they
been
have
winning
not
with
only
that
been
dude,
winning,
Kyrie.
they look like a whole different team. You know how funny it is because we talk about that when a player get injured and he's a star. How are the team going to work around him, and how are they going to actually change up? Is Luca going to change how he play, which he still is kind of ball dominant, or are everybody else going to take it and step back? Because Dallas been looking amazing, man. They've been looking like the speedy team that they're supposed to be. Lucas slows it down because I don't think he has that conditioning. No disrespect to Luca, but when it was like the guys like with the Derek Lively's and you see Kyrie and out of the younger guys, Gafford, the team looks that much more explosive. And now you got a big man at AD who runs the court and who could do some good things for you, like shoot the three, grab rebounds. He's a good assist person and he can block shots. That's all I really thought they was missing. And it's funny too because they had like some good young talent with Lively and Gafford, but then still they didn't have that dominant big man. And that's all they seemed like they were missing. LA, they will actually figure it out when it comes to like some of the guys, was going to be there with them. But they needed more like a point guard presence to it in LA, man, because that was what was kind of missing there. So it kind of makes sense, but I still feel like, in this case, what is LA going to do now as far as pertaining to a big man now? Because that's something I feel like they're missing now versus Dallas. Like you said, they'll be fine with getting AD because he's a hybrid and he's more of a talented player who can do some of everything and it's like a trick to the trade. But when you got LA, they can't put all the pressure on LeBron because he's definitely getting up there in age. They still need a dominant force in the middle. And I think that that's something that I'm going to look forward to too, to see what they're going to do at the center position and how that's going to materialize.
Okay, but see, it's still more to this meat on the bone, okay? Understand. Let's go back a few weeks now. There was an interview with AD and this guy. And basically he asked AD, okay, you more or less happy with what's going on here? It's like, well, yeah, I'm good. The only problem is I don't like to play center. I'd
Hmm.
rather be the four. And you say, okay, well, AD, you 6'11, blah, 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 blah. But remember, people, if you know the history of AD, in high school, he was primarily a guard. He
Until he got
experienced
cold.
a crazy growth spurt that last year or so of his high school. So suddenly, one day I'm 6'2", next day I'm 6'10". So yeah, it's crazy because I still got my guard skills, but I'm a big now. But I don't want to be a big because I'm not big. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So if you notice in games where AD has to play the big, it don't necessarily work out well for him as much as it is when he plays a big that's more his type of size. Okay, so
Yeah.
like on the games where he the five and he got to play like a Jokic or Embiid, yeah, he ain't too
You
much
can't handle
happy
those
with that.
guys, man.
But when you got a
He
big like a like
Porzingis.
Duran for the Pistons, or somebody like that, or Anthony Towns was pretty much the same way. He don't necessarily like to play the five either, so that works out for AD. In this Dallas space, of course, they already got two bigs. They're not dominant bigs in terms of scoring, but they are dominant bigs in terms of defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to get a more defensive-minded team in Dallas. You can't have that with Luka because Luka don't care about no damn defense. Not
And one thing I don't like about Luca too, man, and you've seen that over the years, and I get real frustrated with it. If Luca don't get his way on the call, man, he'll dog it for a few plays
another
and
very key point, Hugh.
then he'll find out, oh man, yeah, let me get back in the game. And he hurt his team several times doing that. And I kind of figured it was gonna happen last year, and it did. But you can't do that, man. You can't when you don't get your way. You pop moan in the half-ass play when it's time for you to be that guy, man. You know, you the franchise player. You did this 3 years in a row, and sometimes it was even worse to where he'd just walk off the court and he'd, pout and moan and still be arguing and complaining to the refs while the other team is taking full advantage of it. You can't sit up there and pound and moan because you don't have your way. Yeah, you're a star, but then at the same time you can't show out your team too, because not only you hurting your team, but then you just not doing what's planned for the team, and you seem like you were the worst enemy at the team, for a long time now. So it's a few things that I've seen with them, and I say, how long are they going to really put up with this? Would it happen in LA? I don't think LeBron will let it
Well,
get that
see,
way.
that's the beauty of it, Hugh. I think this is where Dallas actually did Luca a favor, okay? Because clearly, what you're saying is Luca got some growing up to do. Remember, Luca, yeah, he's been in the league for years, but in the end, he only 25. Good people, think about what you doing at 25, okay? That being said, yeah, I ain't trying to really hear Kyrie because Kyrie ain't really no leading presence in my ear like that.
He ain't been a
But
great
guess what?
citizen himself.
I bet you he'll listen to LeBron.
Hmm.
LeBron is the guy in the league. So bottom line is, you don't listen to LeBron, that means you ain't trying to listen to nobody. And here's a key point in this deal. Luca was scheduled next year to be set up to get the super max, okay? And for those who are not familiar with how the NBA work, if you're a super max guy, that basically means you're an all NBA first teamer, so on and so forth. You're looking at least $60 million a year, at least that much. And if you Luca, you probably looking at closer to 70 mil a year for the next 5 years. But here's the thing: when you get traded, and it's not a sign and trade situation, that supermax thing go out the window.
Oh, absolutely. What's crazy to me too, man, big ups to my man's Chris Shelton, man. That's one of my main homeboys always talking to me about basketball. And my boy Quentin Barnes, man. They were like some of the first people who responded, and they were just really shocked to hear what was going on. And both of them had the same thing they said, what you just said, to hit everything out the ballpark. They're not trying to play Luca 345 mil and give him that max deal when they know he ain't trying to act right over there in Dallas. And we just basically pointed out some of his flaws, how when he don't get his way, he'll dog it out. He's very ball dominant, and he slows down that fast game that Dallas has
Absolutely.
been playing now since his injury. And on top of that, man, his weight, that really hurt him, man. At your height, man, you could get away with being 240, maybe 250, 260, but you can't get up there in like 300-pound range, man. And then I heard he liked to smoke and drink too, man, and party real hard.
As several European players tend to do.
Yeah, no, and then no, we can't let Nikola Jokic get away with it because he do it on the all season, but he be in better condition than what he is. I still feel like them doing that kind of hurt themselves though, because you see when it came to Minnesota last season, that Jokic and that whole team was gassed. So yeah, I think that they should have a different approach with that, man, because that conditioning is everything. But yeah, it's a lot of issues with Luca, and I just feel like he needs to mature. I think right now AD's gonna get his wish over there in Dallas, and then one good thing about it all is we kind of just keep swiping it under the rug and never talk about it. Big up to Spencer Dinwiddie, man, for him to come back and rejuvenate himself because he's been all over the league, man. He went to LA. He went right back to Brooklyn, and then when he went back to
with the
Dallas,
Pistons, yeah.
yeah, when he went back to Dallas, though, man, it seemed like he did a lot, man. And I'm just glad that they're keeping him over there for now. But then, it just definitely seems like that's a good spot for him, man. So hopefully everything work out in this way,
Yeah,
man.
I mean, because I honestly feel like if you really look at it and you deep dive like we just did, it's pretty much a good deal for both teams and both players. Okay, because again, let's just say AD because they both hurt right now. That's the crazy part about it. So you don't look to see neither one of them play tonight or tomorrow.
No.
But AD, as we know, history of being hurt just ridiculous. Last year, for whatever reason, he took the magic potion and was good. And you see what your team looked like when he is fully healthy and engaged. For all intents and purposes, the dude probably should have been the MVP last year.
Honestly.
But that being said, we kind of back to that AD this year, so
Yeah.
we got that to deal with. But remember, on this squad, yeah, he'll be the man, but he ain't got to necessarily be the man. Because remember, they got Kyrie over there.
You got Clay too,
And,
man. There's gonna be some good
not
stuff.
to mention Klay Thompson. That's a very good point. So, you got some stuff to work. And not to mention, you got a young team that's a defensive minded team that's more running gun. That fits more to your gameplay than what was going on with the Lakers, because the Lakers was pretty much more of a half court setup, which fits to what Luka wants to do.
Give him the rest.
And bottom line is, we already know LeBron can pretty much play with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually likes Luka. And, he kind of wanted to know what it would look like to play with Luka. Because remember, a lot of people like to compare Luka to an early LeBron James in terms of his versatility with passing the ball, shooting the ball, what have you. So I think in an ideal world, it will work if everybody is committed to making it work, particularly Luka. Because at this point, remember, AD used to sit right there next to LeBron. His locker was right next to LeBron's. I'm gonna safely assume that's gonna be the same case with him and Luka.
I don't
And
think
if
that's
you
gonna change.
Luka and you really wants to be one of the greatest of all time, you're gonna sit down next to LeBron, and whatever that brother tell you to do, you gonna do. Whatever you see him doing in the workout room, you gonna do it. Whatever you see that brother eating, you gonna eat it. Whatever wine that dude drinking, you're going to drink that instead of that beer. You're going to do what you got to do to be the next great one. Because keep in mind, you is in LA. You are a Laker now. So the eyes was on you to begin with, but you in LA. It's just like if you play in Dallas in the NFL, or if you play with the Yankees or the Dodgers in baseball. Everything you do going to get magnified times 10 now. So if you go handling business, you're going to get your money.
They say they want him to play before the All-Star game too.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like that.
And here's the real beauty of it, Hugh. If for whatever reason it don't work out, the Lakers can and start all over. Salary cap and all. Granted, they still ain't really got a lot of first round picks these next few years, but hey, they'll have like this big, huge gap of money that they didn't have for years because they was dealing with the ADs and the LeBrons of the world if the Luka thing don't work out. And they can pretty much LA kind of recruits itself. You know what I'm saying? People trying to go to LA. They trying to be a Laker.
Like, unfortunately, with Miami, things didn't materialize with Jimmy. It's beautiful in Miami and it's beautiful in LA. It's beautiful places that you would like to be at. But in this case, man, with LA right now, man, that's going to be a good picture for him, man. It's a big market. Like you said, you got LeBron. And he could definitely work on his work ethics being there too, man. Like you said, he's only 25, man. It's not like he's up in age. And that's the other good part about it for LA. Because if things do work out, and LeBron feel like, man, he did his last stand and he leave the game You still have Luca, and he'll be a hell of a building block. People gonna want to come over and play with Luca, so that's a good thing. But the sad part about it all, too, I had to look up, man, is you had Kyrie over there, and they brought Kyrie in, but Clay came over there because of those two, man, collectively. And now to lose a part of that, man, I just want to know where Clay mindset's gonna be at. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how this takes off, though, man, because he could have easily been to LA. Just imagine if my man's Clay decided, man, I'm gonna go to LA because that's where my dad played to help out the Lakers, and then this deal still happened with Luca, man. How different the dynamic of that Laker team could be, man. And yeah, it's just pretty cool to see how this all materialized, and I want to see more. And like you said, that's just basically the tip of the iceberg because a lot of things are going to materialize before February the 6th for you guys to know, and that's the trade deadline in the NBA. So yeah, it's going to get real interesting because last year it kind of got a little high. There were some good things that happened as far as moves, but I really think this year is going to be some crazy things. So, like you said, people see what LA did, and now they're going to try to get their team stronger to compete now on both sides.
Right. And again, this is just the beginning, good people. I think this deal sprouts out other deals. So I say in this next 48 hours, as I was telling you, look out to see what teams be like, oh, that's what y'all doing? That's what y'all doing? Okay, we gonna make this move. And you basically about to see this big ass NBA chess game jump off in the next few days. So definitely keep an eye on people like, of course, Jimmy Butler over in Miami. Look out for people like Bradley Beal over in Phoenix. Look for people like Zion Williamson out there in New Orleans, and the other guy for that matter, Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, ooh, you know what, man? I know you heard the rumors, man. I think that I didn't really like it because I feel like when they tried to put the trade with Brandon Ingram coming to Detroit, I thought that would be nice, but it was too much. We was giving up like first round picks and some of our good players, the young players, so I wasn't really too happy with that. But I figure if they put another team in there, man, that can kind of help take away the blow. But yeah, it was a lot of good scenarios and things that was going
Right.
on. What
Again, look at the Pistons. They clearly trying to make some type of major move to get in the mix. Look for teams like Chicago. It's been said that there might be a possible deal with Chicago and Detroit getting that dude Lonzo Ball. That
Mhm.
was something that's been talked about the last few days. What other? Oh, definitely look for Golden State. Remember, Golden State was trying to make a major splash last year, trying to get LeBron.
Absolutely.
They clearly are still trying to make something happen over there. Remember, it's like kind of the younger teams running the league right now.
Yeah.
You look at the Clevelands and the Oklahoma Cities and the
You could even throw in
Memphis
Sacramento.
and those
Yeah.
type of teams. So teams are trying to do stuff to counteract that and compete. So I definitely think this might be one of the better trade deadlines to go on in the NBA in pretty much the last decade. But
I'm looking forward to this deadline too, man, like no other, because it's a lot of good things that's gonna happen, and a lot of guys out there for grabs, and like we didn't think Luka was gonna be for grabs or AD, but
oh,
at this moment, you never know. It's fair game on everyone, so I'm hoping Bradley Beal do what he got to do. Let's see what's up with Jimmy Butler, the Zion's, and some of these guys who just need to change the scenery right now, man. It's gonna be fun to watch, and I know once it all materialized to February the 6th, if a lot of crazy things is going on by that time, I might just go ahead and do a trade deadline, special just to keep everybody informed of what's going on in the NBA because yeah, it seems like if it's going to materialize like it did now with the LeBron and Luka, like about time everybody went to sleep and was sound asleep, that's when that happened. So yeah, man, I'm gonna keep my eye out, man, and give me some good rest and, stay keeping the phone by my hip, man, because it's going to be a lot of action. I'm definitely hoping so. Because Phoenix definitely need to improve, I feel like, with the Bradley Bill getting rid of him and figuring out who they're going to put over there. But there's a lot more to it now. And yeah, I think it's going to be fun. This is good for the NBA because we were just talking about how it was down and bad advertising and how none of us really give a damn about watching the All Star game too. Even though if I don't watch the All Star game, I'm gonna stay glued to the phone because it's still going to be some things that we can still watch and look forward to now. Big ups to Adam Silver and just what everything is going on right now, man. Because I feel like when he do his job, man. It makes it more fun and it makes it more interesting NBA.
So basically, what he was telling you is he about to try to be like Adam Schiffer out here for y'all and
Yes,
let
sir.
y'all know what's goody. But okay, understand, for as crazy as it could potentially get in the NBA, it's not nearly as crazy as what's going on a sister company in the WNBA. For those of y'all that keep up with that, this last say 4 days or so has changed the league forever.
Before we get off into that two real strong man, big up to the two teams just trying to make expansion teams. Nashville, man, I was really, it kind of caught my heart, man. Kind of made me a little sad, but it was good. It was bittersweet, that they're trying to name the team after Pat Summitt, and we love
That
Pat,
is so
man.
awesome.
Love what she did for the sport with the women volunteers, the Tennessee Volunteers for all these years. One of the most winningest coaches in the game, and then for them to do that, I like some of the investors. Faith Hill. You got Peyton Manning, Candace Parker's one of the big ones. But then on top of that, even we have Detroit trying to get back into everything, and we was talking about that. But the people who's coming in there involved is like the Chris Webbers, your Grant Hills, your Sheila Ford is trying to get involved now, and then you got Jared Goff, and
Chris
it's a lot of
Webber.
people who's trying to get involved in this. Yeah, man, it's gonna be exciting, man. I'm definitely looking forward to those teams, especially the shots coming back. If they had the same name or not, man, just I wanted some team in Detroit and then Nashville to be really good too for the sport. So they trying to get to 16 teams over there in the WNBA. So it's a lot of good things going on. But I wanted to kind of get that out of the way before we talk about a lot of those crazy trades, man, and everything that happened.
Yeah, and like I said, there's of course a couple other cities looking to possibly get a team. Been talking Chicago trying to get a second WNBA team, which would be even crazy because of course, there's no team at this point that got two teams, and then also Oklahoma City looking to get a team. I kind of like that move because
Totally bull.
the Oklahoma City crowd is amazing down there.
Even when the team wasn't that great, man. It was funny now, E. What did I tell you the other night? I don't know if you remember. I said, "Damn, man! After everything that went on with these trades and stuff, maybe we should have went ahead and said, man, let's bite the bait and went after Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We didn't think he was going to be what he is today. That dude
True.
had two MVP seasons last year. A lot of people was upset that he didn't get it, and he's playing at an MVP level this year. But yeah, it's been a lot of good stuff going on with him, man, and just in general, I just feel excited to see what's going on now with these teams. And like Oklahoma is a really huge fan base now, so I give them credit. But seeing the women's team, that'd be awesome.
Right. So, we're gonna kind of go over some of the moves that have been made. Because keep in mind, right now, as it stands, the WNBA, good people, has 13 teams. When you consider the newest team, of course, which is the Valkyrie of Golden State, and truthfully, out of all the teams, they probably made the fewest moves since the draft, and I really think they need to do so. Based on what I'm seeing right now, that's definitely going to be the team on the outside looking in this year. I cannot see them beating any of these other teams the way they are currently constructed. But basically, what has happened in the WNBA is we already was kind of questioning what exactly was going on a couple months ago when we saw that 8 of the 12 teams in the W at the time let their coaches go. We was like, what the hell is going on? That was so crazy. But it makes sense now because a lot of these teams have decided, I don't like what our team look like. Boom! Let's blow it all up. Start all over. And in some cases, that's exactly what's happened. For example, let's look at the team known as the Connecticut Sun. When you see the Connecticut Sun next year, their starting five all gone. All gone.
Well, they was waiting for this moment too. I was surprised that they got rid of a lot of them, like Alyssa Thomas leaving, man, and then I was surprised too with the Dejanay, man. We didn't think she was gonna leave, man. It was like well, this is her team now. That's what we said the other day. So everything
True.
just up on that team, man. it was just some crazy, wild things that happened. But you know, I was still excited. Yeah, I'm still on cloud nine with Vegas did, man, getting Jewel Lloyd. And I love Kelsey Plum, but we felt like in the playoffs sometimes, man, she kind of wasn't playing at the level she needed to, man, especially defensively. She was a liability. Jewel's not really a great defender, but when she gets it started, man, she go on a whole nother level.
Okay, so Hugh, let's do it this way. We kind of set. I mean, because it seemed like one move set up another move, set up another move.
Mhm.
We kind of work our way through it. It all really started, like you said, last month when Seattle made it known that Jewel Lloyd said, "Yeah, I want up out of here, trade me." And of course, we're like, why you want to leave Seattle? You that girl in Seattle. Especially after, remember, once upon a time, it was Jewel Lloyd. It was, of course, the great Sue Bird, future Hall of Famer. And of course, you had Stewie. And they was
Yeah,
winning
she was
championships.
doing it. Yeah.
So when Bird retired and Stewie decided to go back home, it left the team to Lloyd. Then, of course, they got Aneka Bumake from the Sparks, and you thought, okay, working on new dynasty now. Then, of course, they got Skylar Diggins Smith. And what happens is Seattle got off to that good start last year, but then for whatever reason, stuff got kind of clunky over there, and they just didn't get it done. And it seemed like what it boiled down to was the two big stars, Lloyd and Diggins Smith. Mm-mm. That wouldn't happen. And of course, we done seen that before. Because if you remember before Skylar Diggins had her other child, she was over there in Phoenix, and her and Diana Taurasi was bumping heads. So we wondered if that's what it was. Could be. But then, okay, let's start making the deals. So they come with the big blockbuster deal one, where they trade Jewel Lloyd to the Vegas Aces. And remember, if you remember last year, that last game, the Aces was saying, yeah, we ain't about to three-peat because we need to make some changes over here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that in the off season. So they just said we're gonna make a big change. And Kelsey Plum, we love you, but you gotta go. We bringing in Jewel Lloyd. Already, that helps them tremendously from an offensive standpoint. Because keep in mind, Kelsey Plum, a good shooter, a scorer of sorts, but not a good one-on-one player. Definitely not a great defender. Jewel Lloyd brings both of those things to the table. Yeah, granted, Jewel Lloyd could be streaky, but here's the thing. When you with the Vegas Aces, it don't matter if you score, boo. We got all type of scores, including the best player on the
Mhm.
planet right now, Asia Wilson. So you add that to the mix, and a Jackie Young, who is by far the best two-way player in the league. You got the point guard herself. Yeah, you got the Aces looking real, real good, at least in terms of the starting five. Now, the third team in this is the Dallas Wings. And, keep in mind, they was right about there in terms of playoffs, but didn't quite get there, okay? They decided, yeah, we blowing this team up too. Boom! So, yeah, of course, they still got perhaps the best scorer in the league with Goomba Wale. But, she's not a defender. We know that. But she is a scorer. Because when she hot, she on fire.
Yeah.
But of course, they had all those bigs over there in Dallas. Like, yeah, it seemed like it would make sense. You put her with the bigs, they do their thing, she do her thing, they'd be all right. But it just wasn't gelling. And the person that was on the outside looking in was that kid Satu Sabali, who, as we know, is a very good player. But of course, she was hurt for a good part of that season. When she came back, she kind of just didn't fit in to whatever they had going. So they make that move, and
Her
they
going to
trade her,
Phoenix, like,
and that's where Phoenix come involved. Because here's the thing, Phoenix, they was a playoff team, but Dallas, Diana Taurasi, the greatest of all time in terms of WNBA, perhaps her future not decided. Remember, Diana Taurasi 42 now. Okay, so if you think the LeBron thing is something at 40, Diana Taurasi 42, but still playing some good ball. She still has not decided what she wants to do. Brittany Griner, on the other hand, I think she just decided it's time for a change of scenery. Remember, Brittany been through a lot these last few years. You know what I'm saying? With the whole Russia thing and whatnot, then coming back to the league and so on and so forth. So I think she just wanted to change the scenery. So she decides, I'm going to go into free agency. So at that point, Phoenix was like, you know what? Let's just start us all over. Let's make these moves. Go ahead, Hugh. Let me just
I was
jump in here.
surprised with her too when she got traded. Well, actually, when they traded and got rid of a lot of these women, man, the dream actually got better too, man, from all this, man. I was surprised to see a lot of people that left and just kind of switched teams because when I was seeing this, I was like, okay, Phoenix, what are they trying to do? You thinking they were going to blow it up, but they actually made Phoenix a stronger team, man. And like I said, I was surprised for them to get Alyssa Thomas, man, and to get some of the other players that they had too. But I didn't think it was going to happen like that. And I felt kind of like, okay, what is this team going to do and what is that team don't do? And Brittany Griner, when she ended up leaving, I felt like, what was she fit at? And it was good to see her kind of switch her team and then change over and go to another team. But I didn't think at the time that the Atlanta Dream was going to pick her up, man. I'm thinking on other teams, but then, I know you heard the rumor too, E, if you didn't, that not only were the Vegas Aces trying to go after Jewel Lloyd, they actually had their eye on Brittany too. But the only reason that didn't materialize was because of the fact is when they got that opportunity to make the trade for Jewel Lloyd, that's when they said, okay, we're good, because I think that they were going to go after Brittany Griner before that trade materialized. But yeah, to see her with the Dream, that's going to make them a little bit more relevant. I know a lot of people in Atlanta are going to be happy.
Well, I'm still curious to see how that works with her and Tina Charles because they are actually two legit fives. You don't have a lot of legit fives in the league in terms of the WNBA, but those two are both legit centers. So I don't know if it's a situation where you basically move Tina Charles to the four and they play together, or basically she's just the backup for Brittany, so Brittany's not playing as many minutes. I'm not quite sure how that's going to fit. And keep in mind, I really found it interesting that it was just a 1 year deal. Remember, Brittany Griner is only 32. So 1 year, she's still very much in her prime after this year.
It's smart though.
It's just something to kind of change what's going on, or was this something to okay, let me just see how this works out, and if it does, then I'll go ahead and sign the bigger deal. But then also remember, people, we are in the middle of the WNBA and a contract negotiation. Because as you know, after last year's tremendous success in the WNBA, the thought process of the players in the league is okay, it's time for us to make more money. Because remember, right now you have pretty much the majority of the players that's in the Unrivaled League making more money to play in the 8 week Unrivaled League than they will make in the WNBA the next couple seasons, let alone this season.
That's why that had to change, man. And I'm not surprised that a lot of the
Keep in
women.
mind, Brittany Griner actually is the second highest paid player in the W, and she's still making less than $250,000.
Still was smart for them to take that and her in consideration doing that 1 year deal and then going over and seeing how things work out because the money's gonna be better, man. And I think that she could still use that as bait right now to go to any team she wants to. Like you said, if things go well there in Atlanta, she could stay or she could go wherever she desired now because the salary cap is gonna be much better for the girls. And it's funny too because a lot of the women wanted to stay going home or going and still playing overseas because they feel like they wasn't getting the respect and the money that they deserved. And now they're going to, give it a boost. Now a lot of women are going to stay over in the U.S. and it's cool too because now you got the Unrivaled doing the same thing for people like Brittany Griner who went through what she went through in Russia. So it's actually better now for the sport because we have more stuff going on here and it's going to be less people. I still feel like people will go overseas, but I don't think it's going to be many as volume, what it used to be in the past.
Right. Then, of course, just yesterday, Brianna Jones, again, one of the starting five for Connecticut, she is now also going to play for the Dream this season. And she more or less is a 4 or 5. So that throws that in that mix. Again, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work with all those bigs,
I still feel like one of them bigs might get moved or something, man, because there's a lot of bigs over there now. But Brianna Jones, that kind of took me off guard too to see her going over there. But what I like too is seeing like the players, like we kind of figured this Atu Sabali wasn't going to stay. And for her to go over to Phoenix, it was some good things because we definitely was like Phoenix trying to do an overhaul. But now, like you said, if Diana Taurasi does retire, man, I don't think they have too much to worry about because they tried to fill that void. And it was like they got a lot of people over there now. Lisa Thomas, once Brittany Griner left. So it's really good now to see because right now, that's all we've been talking about. Before LA made their move with Dallas, that was the biggest thing that was going on. Is WNBA has been on fire, but I still don't feel like it's going to stop. I still believe it's going to be a lot of good trades and people
Oh,
really.
like I said, we're not done, Hugh. Let's talk about Kia Nurse, who is leaving the Sparks. That was a move that I definitely was not expecting. And also a low key move that was good for the Sparks. They basically replacing Kia Nurse with Odyssey Sims. Now, if you remember last year, Odyssey Sims kind of took over for a few weeks when the point guard over there in Dallas went down, and she was doing some big time scoring over there, her and Agumba Wale. But of course, when she came back, they let her go. Now she's over there with the Sparks. She still ain't but like 28 herself. If you remember her from Baylor, she was like the second leading scorer in the country. Remember, it was her and Brittany doing their thing over there in Baylor when they won that national championship where they went undefeated. So she still got some game left with her. So
That's
yeah, the Sparks, they definitely, and remember, Sparks also still got a big ass lottery pick too.
Yeah, they still got Rakia Jones, man, and they still got that pick they got. They got my girl
They got
Cameron Green.
Brandy Grant, right?
It's a
They
lot of good
still
stuff,
got Hamby.
man.
The Sparks definitely making out good in this free agency thus far.
They got some good, a good young team too, and that's what's gonna make them stay relevant. Because not only did they get my girl Rakia and they got Cameron Green, but they got like some really solid players over there that they got in the free
Right.
agency. People are sleeping on them to have a veteran
And
guard.
let's not forget how we got the one power couple that broke up when you talk about Bonner and oh
Alyssa Thomas.
right. But now we got another power couple coming into play because Dallas has not only signed Tisha Smith from Indiana, but they also went and got Dejanay Carrington over from Connecticut. So now them two get to play together. Because remember, they became a couple back in the day over there at Baylor.
Yeah, that's where it all started at, and it's funny too because I remember they were talking and they was like, "Man, we probably." I think Dejanay was the one who was saying, "I don't think we'll be on the same team ever again." I think that
Hmm.
was just fun for us to be doing that when it happened, and now it's like they back together again. And I thought that was cool to see, because now it's funny too because the colors never changed, man. The colors stayed the same. They were with Baylor and now they with Dallas once again reunited. So yeah, it's cool to see a lot of the things that's
Right.
going on.
And again, I like the moves that Indiana has made.
Yeah, Indiana is a strong team, man, and I was just really happy to see a lot of the girls in Indiana, do what they were doing too, because they already had a good young team, but then they sprinkled in some more talent. But I don't really know right now. I think they'll still be a playoff team, but I think some of these teams like Phoenix and the Aces, who are already strong, is going to be a little stronger right now, man. I still believe that they should do some stuff too, as far as get some more help too. Just I'm not saying they need to do a lot, but Indiana Fever still need a couple more pieces. I feel like need to go
Right.
that direction.
Now here's the thing we got to throw in the mix, y'all, because again, they not through dealing over there in the WNBA, but also keep in mind we still got to deal with the draft, okay? And
Yeah,
it's going to be a decent draft this year, particularly when you look at the lottery picks. Because remember, we got Paige Beckers if she does choose to leave UConn and go into the draft, because she does have the option as the number one pick. Right now, who has that number one pick? You remember, Hugh?
is it Dallas?
Dallas still has the number one pick. So think about it. You put her and Agumba Wale in the backcourt with what they got for the center with the big girl. I can't think of her name at the moment. 6'7", and so on and so forth. Not to mention Carrington and whatnot. Yeah, that could get real interesting. So there's that. Then of course you got Olivia Miles as potentially the number 2 pick. And so
Hmm.
I remember the Sparks still got the number. No, actually, the Seattle Storm had the number 2 pick now. So almost certainly they're gonna pick one of them two.
They need her, man.
Right.
They
So
can do
Jewel
it.
Lloyd, basically, their replacement is on the way.
Pretty
Then, of
much.
course, remember you got people like Aya Frame from USC. I'm curious to see what team she could go to and be an instant fact. I mean, because you see her play, I think she fits right into almost any team in the W with her skill set. You got you got a couple other good people coming out in the draft. So yeah, it's gonna be real interesting moving forward.
And it's cool too because the one of the ladies that you familiar with and you like, and she's been playing pretty solid, man. And they need that solid play too with the Sky, man. Sonya Citron, that'd be a good pickup for them.
Oh,
You
let's not forget her. She's coming out in the draft. Don't forget AZ Fudd. I'm curious to see what impact she could have for a team.
One of my favorite players, man, and I just been really starting to watch her more this year, man. And I told you she hooped like a grown man. Is Kiki if Fairfinger.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just brought up. Girl from USC.
Hmm. I definitely think it's going to be a good year for the draft, man. We thought it was going to be decent, but now with the teams and some of the teams' needs, it's really going to sizzle, man. So
Right.
the NBA be really taking off. I'm proud of them girls, man. I've been a 3-year watcher now and just been very excited to see how the game grow, how it's evolved, the expansion people now, and now you got like all these trades and I'm really happy for that, man. And it's really been interesting because not only now you focusing on WNBA, but now you're looking at the women's in college too, which is still really good basketball, man. And I still, got that heebie-jeebies with the football. But yeah, it's been a really good thing to watch, man, and just see how the college game has already evolved, but the WNBA is starting to evolve even more, and more people are starting to tune in.
Right now, of course, you'll see this after the fact, but today actually marks a special day in college basketball. Key matchup today appears to be going to be USC versus Iowa over there in the Big Ten. The reason why it's a little different than it could be is because it's in Iowa, and today they are going to retire the jersey of the great Caitlin Clark. So she will be in the building when Juju plays Iowa. Now, here's the thing. It's been kind of made of note lately that Caitlin Clark don't seem to be interested in some of the other opportunities that she's had. For example, they wanted to make her the highest paid player in the Unrivaled League. She passed on that. They recently asked her to be in the NBA All-Star Weekend. Then she's passed on that. They've asked her to partner up for certain projects. She's passed on those as well. What do you make of this, Hugh? Is it that she is singularly focused on being Indiana Fever? Is it because she got all these other endorsement deals? She kind of saying, "I ain't got to do all that." What do you make of all that?
I think more or less she don't want to be the center of attention either, man. She don't want it just to be about her. She wanted to be about the movement itself. But at the same time, I definitely think she's more or less focused on, doing what she needs to do right now in the WNBA because at first she had a slow start and then she really picked it up. But I definitely feel like now she feel like since she belongs in the WNBA that she want to basically put her stamp of approval and she want the respect that she rightfully deserves.
Oh, another thing, she was also offered the opportunity to do some broadcast work. She turned that down as well.
I don't know. I definitely understand that much too. But yeah, it's just about her trying to better her game, and you know how it is being a rookie. It's hard being a rookie in the WNBA. It's the things she want to work on, the things she want to retool and get better with too. I don't think that it's her not really wanting opportunities. I just think she want to focus more on her game. That's what I believe.
Okay, but that didn't seem to stop her from wanting to hang out with Tay Tay.
Yeah, that's totally different, man. And I can care less about Tay Tay right now because this is one time I can tell you that it's gonna be funny to hear from my mouth for anybody else who hear it. That's the last thing I'm focused on right now is football. We'll worry about them in about a week. But yeah, that was kind of strange though, because I was like, damn, she is there, but other adventures and things that came about for her that she basically avoided. So yeah, it was kind of weird to see that. I know she's a huge KC fan though. For anybody who didn't know, but yeah, it was kind of weird that she would show up there and hang out with her, and then all these other opportunities that her sport is coming around, and she kind of got away from it. And I think that too, she don't know how much of a distraction that was where she did that, and it kind of begged the difference. There were the question marks that we have on why she's not taking up any other stuff that she had the opportunity to take, but she took the opportunity to hang out there. But she knew that probably was a distraction, and I think she's trying to focus on more or less being, out of the spotlight right now and try to, work on her career.
Yeah, interesting of note though that if you remember last year when they did the whole March Madness thing over there at ESPN, they actually started having your girl Aaliyah Boston on the broadcast. Again, they have offered her the opportunity to do so. I really liked her as a broadcaster last year. What's your thoughts on that, Hugh?
She's very intelligent, man. When you see how rugged she looked when she played, man, when she's not playing, she suits up well, and she's very intelligent, man. Just really like to see her talk and how she's excited and how she break down the game. Kind of remind you of Candace Parker, man, loving the sport and how she puts into the game. And that'd be good for her, man. I think that's something that she can go right into once she retire. Or like nowadays, people doing it, when their season is over with, kind of keep a little bit more money in their pocket. But yeah, I like her as a broadcaster, and I think that's going to be a good career for her after the game.
Right, because you know what really made me think was remember you got the basically the inside the NBA crew over there at TNT with the growth of the WNBA as it's going. I'm thinking somewhere down the line they're gonna have a sister counterpart to that show, and I
So,
definitely could see her, like you said, Candace Parker. I could see somebody like even Flajay Johnson.
mhm.
She's
Maybe a Sue
pretty good
Bird or
at that
somebody
broadcast
who's
space.
retired.
I could see maybe Sue Bird or whatchamacallit being a part of that. It could be definitely a good thing.
They should do that, man. Inside the WNBA, that'd be awesome. I would love to hear them giving their thoughts on it too, because I was so
Right.
happy for them.
Basically that would be kind of their version of players only, even.
Yeah, they definitely should be able to get something like that in the works, man. Because we love Kenny, Barkley, Shaq, and Ernie, man. But I think that to get that lady camaraderie, man, that'd be good too. I
Right.
think.
I mean, and then it's like I said, it's something about something in the water here. It seems like when you play for a Detroit team or you from Detroit, it somehow makes you good at broadcast. I mean, think about all the broadcasters. We talked about this before on the show.
Yeah,
How you got Jalen Rose and Chris Webber and Grant Hill and hell, you got even go as far as the person in charge of all the fans and stuff in the league, Joe Dumars. You know what I'm saying? You
hmm.
got Isaiah on NBA TV.
Kelly Tripucka when he was doing
Right.
it, it's like a lot of guys, man.
Got
Who's
Steve Smith. I mean, it's something in the water here, man.
I love it, man.
And you even got Rip Hamilton over there on CBS Sports now doing commentary.
That's good, man. Definitely like to see that, man, with the players. And like we said, that even happened in baseball, man, where we had Craig Monroe and some of the guys who,
Right.
went into
Right.
broadcast.
You got Dontrell Willis that was once a
Mhm.
Detroit Tiger. Like I said, it's something about being in the D and fitting in that space.
It seems like
Remember, even Swing Cash, former Detroit Shock, she was part of the TV broadcast for a while until she actually went and started working for the league.
that's good to see too, man, that they work on their craft, man, and let you know it's good to have a life outside of basketball, man. And that's a really good feature because it's like if you stay with the game you love and to be able to critique and talk about it, man, that's still a good thing.
Right.
You still
And
probably
you bring
play.
something. I mean, hell, let's not forget Saginaw, Michigan's own Draymond Green. At some point he gonna be in that space full time. So it's something to be said for that. But yeah, we just definitely wanted to come on and talk to you about all the moves and like I said, I think we are far from done in the WNBA and the NBA. So by the time we get to our Wednesday show, we'll probably have some more stuff to talk about. And of course, we will definitely break down the Super Bowl matchup between the Chiefs and that team in Philly, the Eagles, and whatever else is going on in sports. I think I had one more quick mention I wanted to make. I can't think of what it is at the moment. You recall, Hugh?
Quick mention, no, I didn't really have anything
Okay.
yet.
But
But
yeah, go ahead.
stay tuned too to the Sports Guru to you on Facebook because whatever deals and whatever trades are going on, I will have NBA, WNBA, and I will definitely keep that notice because I think before I went to bed, I snuck that on a lot of people, and then I went to sleep. And then it was cool to see the reactions. Like I got my boy Chris Shelton, Quinn, and a lot of people was like, "Are you serious?" And they thought it was a joke at first, but then when they started to see it and everything materialize, it just really came from good for us and the page, man. So like and check us out, man. Check out the Google Sports Session, Big Buck Sports Report and everything that we have, man. You could go on there and look at all of our broadcastings, man, and our podcasts that we do, because we're gonna keep y'all updated on everything that's going on. But just really glad to y'all do that, man. And y'all could go on Facebook, on and check us out, because we usually put it on there. But then YouTube in general, you can like and subscribe to the Google Sports Session and to the Google Perspective and Big Buck Sports Report. And tell them about your new venture, man, that you've been doing, your radio podcast, man, that you've been doing. It's been very interesting, man. You got me scared, and I'm not too proud of it. But I enjoyed it because it made me paranoid and think more about how you're thinking, and definitely making you feel like you understand the skyrocket prices on some of our foods in general. I want you to explain that, E.
Yeah, actually, he's talking about the latest episode of my newest podcast venture, which is Listen to Your Uncle E, which I have there on Spotify. Basically, I'm taking like little snippets of stuff that I'm seeing, and I'm kind of giving you my perspective on that. The latest episode that's on there is I don't know about this egg thing, which is the one he's talking about, because the egg price is going up. The bird flu situation is actually getting worse. It's not only dealing with chickens now. There's been some geese that came up with bird flu, so on and so forth. As it's spreading through the bird population, it might have to be a part two to that episode where we talk about, okay, now I don't know about this egg thing, because it's messing with not only the chicken situation, but now the turkey situation. And people like me and Hugh, that's primarily our diet. Okay,
That
we
hurts.
eat more bird than anything, so
Mhm.
that's something to keep an eye on. But anyway, yeah, the name of the podcast is Listen to Your Uncle E. I got a new episode coming today where we're gonna talk about a question that I'm going to entitle you sure you want to post that? So yeah, stay tuned for that one. Also, want to shout out our girl Road to Stardom. She's got a podcast venture she's starting as well, which is Speak Freely with Miss Gigo. Check that one out. We'll put the postings for that as well. Shout out to Road. What's good? And that's pretty much what we got for this time around, y'all. We will catch you on Wednesday with the regular episode, unless something even more outlandish happens between now and then. It could. Be on standby, Hugh.
Yeah,
Like I
because
said,
we expect
if
this
that
stuff.
trade went on, anything is possible.
Absolutely. And that's why,
Yeah,
man,
LeBron might be mad and say he want to get traded. Who knows?
I've been looking at the phone, man, because there's been a lot of stuff going on. It hasn't been no more news is breaking, but there's been a lot of things that's still been going on, man. And then they try to hit us when we sleep, man. It's like, damn, now y'all gonna have me, up all night now, because I know you can't really sleep now because they sneaking these trades in and they doing certain things. But it's pretty good though. For the sport of basketball right now, that's definitely been struggling with ratings. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely keep my eye out and ears too. But appreciate y'all for chiming in and checking us out too.
Yep. Without further ado, we headed out. For those of y'all watching the Grammys tonight, that's what's up. We'll talk about that one on my other show. I Am Nighthawk later on in the week. Deuces, baby.